enough to let it.
But as long as no one writes the check. Okay, somebody's gotta write a check, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's.
Yeah, for now, we're continuing for like the old.
Yeah.
And
This, that's other.
close this.
We're just gonna continue forward until August right now.
Thanks, James.
Journey coming in person.
She'll be online.
Some down.
I'm here. I sent,
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
I sent my man Mike in.
You're a lumberjack.
Yeah.
There was like a full tree came in here. I don't know.
I know Brian called in.
Okay.
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
one of the burgers that opened it. They did that,
Dude, they said you ate all the burgers, all the free samples, so next year they open.
you know, that
They're not staffed yet.
is, because they
And then I'll-
they got the permit back in November 29th or like that.
Since the-
And,
where they're based.
So I just,
I heard another month. They're gonna ease into it. That's what I heard.
I heard that the district,
What?
the other one.
Oh, Almost up and open. They open for the football game.
It's a drop in.
They'll be fully open, I think, from just what I've seen online. A little bit. Hey, when are we going to Florida? We're gonna go see some, cool amusement rides. I'm coming with you.
Just in November,
Is it November?
the week before Thanksgiving.
Okay. You give me a free ticket?
I will give.
There's a short-term.
I'll go.
You can bring your family.
For any long-term gain.
And, I think they're like $390 per ticket.
Oh, you get free ones. Don't tell me it's money.
No, I mean-
I can't accept anything that
No.
costs more than $3.99.
I will give you tickets if you go.
I'd like to go. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Just let me go grab 12 and see if they're printed yet.
Mayor?
My favorite people.
Well, Mr. Bear, good to see you.
Yes, sir.
You should be on the payroll here.
He is on the payroll. He is. He gets $1 a day.
I'm not sure.
You probably don't get $1 a day. Much. $2.
Free lunch for you.
And I get a free meal every time we have a study session.
I was online.
Yeah, is there some, on the staff on the,
Yes, I'm on, Michael.
this weekend?
Perfect. Matt's gonna email you something I don't relate to any of this.
Here? Yeah.
Okay, something you need me to,
I heard it, it would be for Christmas. Maybe even repayment. My sister's on my year, so.
We had
Big
it.
events and,
You know, if you're
Not cold enough for us.
like Brian's on.
They're about an hour southwest of.
Paul was printing.
Chuck gets
Yeah.
So are you on it or Brian?
Yeah, like tomorrow.
Brian, interested in this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Me too, yeah. I heard it from Karen Ritz.
Hey, Paul, are you okay without having a copy of the financials still after the meeting? Like, I don't think we
You should know you can make
it.
it.
Like TV.
say that again, Michael?
So she's got the financial income statement. Do they normally email that to you?
She can email it to me, that's fine.
Okay. Is it okay to do it after the meeting or?
Yeah, if she's just gonna kind of discuss it verbally, is that what you mean?
Okay, I'll make sure.
It's very confined.
Yeah, you just couldn't get
No,
it.
I'm Alex Randy. I answered, and you've done a few things, just haven't actually formally met you. I'm so sorry.
It is nice to meet you.
Since November 18th. Yes.
Obituary, you said.
I saw you a couple times in your room and then I've been running like crazy to get to the meeting, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. Yes.
He owns, publication easy.
Excited. excited, so if you ever have any questions.
Yeah, so
let me know.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine, bye.
Nice to meet
Nice to meet you.
I
know.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Who is this baby girl?
Yeah.
This is you.
Well, yeah, Matt Cook, it's his brother. And then,
I call you, my financials are printing, it's 60 minutes for financials, so period 12 is right now, we have adjusting increase in period 12. But I want to present them because not much will change. Sundays, they're only there on Sunday, we're going to run them to me once the period 12 printed, so then we have a.
Be a final, so yes, all the stuff.
It's my fault, I can't.
And I know it's what it is, that's true.
She's working hard, that's what she's got time. No, that's okay. Press the button.
Out there.
Thank you.
What are you talking about?
Does it look like we've got a majority of everybody there?
Oh, this weekend.
This week for what?
Yeah, the mayor's here, Kathy's here, Alex is here, Billy's here, Mike's here.
Chuck's the only one.
Chuck's the only one not here.
Are
Okay,
you running it, Brian?
yeah, unless you want to, Billy. If it's easier in person.
Here's a bystander.
It's like a hot potato.
What's that?
Okay, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Billy, do you mind to say a quick prayer?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you, we thank you for this, just a new year as we begin a new year, we ask, just that you be in the presence of this, the city of Branson. I know you guys ask, if anyone would like a wisdom, we ask, upon you, and we are asking for wisdom as we begin a new year's. That you be upon us of wisdom, not only wisdom, also a direction of what you want us to do. I know that we're supposed to be accountable to what you want us to do, but I pray that we would do the things that you direct us, and I pray that we would do with an open heart and open mind. Again, we thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all you do for not only for the city, for the state, and the transition with the new administrator and president and all that stuff. We just ask you continue to protect and guide this country. Again, you pray for the staff as they begin a new year, that may they be rejuvenated and also be excited about what's coming up before the. Thank you for all you do. We ask for your blessing and ask all this in your wonderful name. Amen.
Thanks, Billy. Paul, you want to call roll?
Sure. So Brian is present. I see Mike. Billy is there. Kathy is there.
Here.
Alex,
Here.
the mayor is down
Here.
there, and Chuck is absent.
Okay. Everybody's had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting. I'd entertain a motion for any discussion, or I'd entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
A second.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? And CID financials.
So, you have the November financials in front of you. I also go over the December financials today, and we can vote on those next time, but, so for November, we brought in, as of November, we had brought in $420,000. $384,000 of that was sales tax, interest income was $36,000. And then if we go down to expenses, there was $73,000 in expenses for the CID. $3,981 for contractual services, with capital infrastructure being $55,000 with major expenses out of that fund. And are there any questions on those? On November's financials for the income statement, and then there's breakdowns behind that. If you have any questions about the breakdown detail of what happened in November.
Anybody have any questions?
So on the city sales tax, is that volatility to 23? Is that due to delinquent payments? You know?
So that's not something that we can definitely tie to delinquent payments. We're looking into that to get a better understanding of what's past due and everything, and the timing of when we're getting those payments. But I can't tell you it's a volatility when we're collecting it for sure. As of right now, that's something that our staff is trying to do a better job of when we're getting those payments and why they are decreasing. And that's just more analysis on the detailed breakdown of all of those. You guys just get the lump sum and we get to see the detail on the back end. So we can start to analyze that better to understand like delinquent payments and then also just the businesses paying in to that line and how many things have dropped off since actually 2 years. Or to explain that increase.
But Mayor, so it's really not city sales tax, they probably don't pay, that's CID.
That's a good point. Did you get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I also have a copy of December's financials that is right in here. If you guys want to keep those. Wait a second for those to pass around and we can review December's. So revenue for December was $338,000 in sales tax interest, and we're doing a couple of approval entries for the end of the year that will be posted soon. So we'll get you a final number. At our next meeting, we'll have 13th period entries and 12th period entries posted. But revenue for December was $358,000 in taxes, and then expenses were $82,000. And then again, you can see a breakdown of those if you have any questions of what those expenses were with major expense with the infrastructure. Overall sales tax for the year for the CID was 5.2 million. This one doesn't show me the percentage. So it looks like that we ended the year at a 16% decrease over the prior year. But we're still tying up end of the year 12th period entries to make sure that number is accurate. We don't need to do an accrual for January revenue or December revenue to make sure we're accounting for it in the right month. Are there any questions on November or December financials?
Are you not seeing the same thing or?
We were just looking at the one handout. We were looking at November, thinking it was December.
Another December one. They look the exact same on top. It says just 12 on under the income statement. Yep.
Something's wonky here.
We just printed the 12th period ones right before this. We wanted to try to get to you to review them. They will be finalized with 13 period entries at the end of next month. So 12th period is going to change a little bit, but it shouldn't change that much. What are we looking at? That looks fine.
No, okay, I actually understand it.
So the year to date is down 10.8% compared to 2024.
So if you go to your 76 entertainment CID page, which is the collections of revenue.
Yeah.
Then you can see it's down 16.3% for this month, and then overall, it looks like over this time last year, it's down only negative 0.3% for CID revenue year-to-date amounts. Last year, we came in for total revenue year-to-date in 2023 was 5,271,000, and then this year we came in at 5,257,000. So overall, year-to-date revenue compared to last year was down negative 0.3%.
The CID tax, it runs 1 month behind or 2 months behind? About 2.
It's 2 months behind.
2 months behind.
Does anyone have any questions about the account detail or history or the collections of tax overall?
Thank you.
And we'll start attaching these to the agenda in the beginning, so you guys have a little bit more in advance.
Anybody have any questions? You guys look like you're studying hard, so I don't want to interrupt.
Okay.
Everybody's good? Paul, we don't approve these, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you. Todd, are you on, ready for your financing update?
Yes, I am here. Had to find my buttons to get everything turned on. I mean, we're basically in a holding pattern given so we have a better understanding of the timing of the project. There are a few items that have been moving along sort of behind the scenes. As many of the board members know, Paul had distributed an email taking care of some due diligence matters that need to be handled. Sarah with Gilmore and Bell is also on the call here today. And so she's been moving a lot of that along. And then as we've mentioned at the last couple of board meetings, we are going through the cooperation agreement between the CID and the city of Branson. And so I think we're close to having some suggested updates for everybody to consider on that. That would, the changes are really to kind of line up some of the requirements that would be in the bond documents to kind of make the cooperation agreement sync up better with the flow of funds for the bond issue. So that's basically where we're at.
Well, I appreciate your patience with us while we get everything gathered up that we need. I know we've kind of been in the same holding pattern for a few months now, so I appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions or comments, concerns for Todd? No?
No.
Okay. Thanks again, Todd.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
Michael, update on our easement acquisitions.
Thank you. So very quickly, I handed the sheet back out that shows where we're at. We're going to discuss a few things that are going on. Outstanding, we have 8 that are left. There's a 4, 2, and a 1, 1 next to that. That means one person holds 4 of them, one person holds two and then two singles. So we're down to dealing with very few people and the lot owners, working from the top to the bottom. Twinkle in, the mayor and Matt went out, met with him. He also came back into our office, asked for one change to that. That document was presented back to him. He's out of the country for about a week or two. Hopefully, we're gonna meet back up with him and get a signature on that. I'm super excited about that. James from Holly's group, attorney, revised some words and documents with Darden. Darden would be Olive Garden. We're waiting on the response to that. So they've given us a red line rewrite. We gave them one red line back. So very hopeful and promising that that's all there. And the actual owner of the property beneath Olive Garden is in line now too. Kathy got me some information with Mr. Grocott, and we were able to meet with Mr. Grocott last week. We had instructed Jeremy to do some redesigns based on what his desires were for the project and design some things out of the project that he wasn't interested in. Today, Matt sent him the split up by property so he can answer by property. And we're super hopeful and convinced that we'll get the signatures on that. We did get a signature from him for a temporary construction easement that's in there. Moving our way down the Cushman properties, he has everything that we're waiting for a signature from him. The orange boxes that you see there being IHOP, Stratford Inn, Branson Victorian, Bigfoot Fun Park, and then of course the Zenith properties are actually properties that we've struggled with. We sat down and took a hard deep look with Jeremy and her crew, took a hard look at could we move some of the things around, what was limiting us that we needed right away. Was it a fire hydrant? We made the fire hydrant to the left or the right of the property or the front to the back, and we were able to successfully write those out of there so that they're no longer needing right away on that. So there's significant improvement in this, and highly hopeful that in the next 30 days that we'll come back with down to none, I hope, or very few. So very hopeful.
Good work on that.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. It's from Jeremy to the lawyers to Matt to the mayor to Kathy to lots of people are helping us spin the wheels, and we're super appreciative of it.
Did you hear that Daryl passed away?
I did. I saw that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Henry, Bigfoot, yeah, he passed away.
Yeah.
Well,
A week
I
ago.
think it's supposed to auto pay, so I need to get on the check.
Massive heart attack.
Does this give any idea on
today or is it?
bidding process on the horizon?
It doesn't until we have all those pieces that are there. We're still working out a little bit of RER stuff that some of your money would attach to MoDOT. There's a couple things there. And then we also are trying to work out the utilities agreement with one utility company, but imminent. If we can get these in, it's very imminent. And it's as fast as we can turn back around, 30-day process and then see who signs up. So it could be, I know Jeremy's on the line too. We were kind of kidding, it could be tomorrow, you never know. So but a little bit longer than that, I would say, you know, the next update, the next meeting will really tell us where we're at.
Did we learn anything on the no bidder issue with downtown?
Yeah, so a little bit what we learned on the downtown is the timeline was too fast and it was the wrong season for labor for them. Also, we learned that if there's not an incentive, sometimes when other projects are here, they'll take the easier projects first. So but we speaking of downtown, we had a meeting and we had 6 very big companies come in and talk. So it's very good, full house. I've never needed all my chairs in the office before, so people had to go find something else to do, give up their chairs. Good thing. Right. Any questions?
You know, I was getting the numbers and all that stuff, and I know so many things going on across the country from the fire, from the terror, from, you know, the hurricane and stuff. How are we locking some of those prices that are they being adjusted based on anything?
Jeremy,
I will speak to that and just tell you that there will be an adjustment in the probable cost when we get a little closer to time to put this out on the street, we will do one last look. All of the things that we're changing, I know, they seem like they're just small things, but every time we make a change, there's a small change to a linear foot of curb and gutter or square yards of concrete, storm sewer. I mean, there are lots of little changes. And so we're trying to keep up with those the best way that we can. But we will we will go through and do quantity one more time and then do a probable cost. But you are correct. The prices have been fluctuating and they will continue to fluctuate. As we see disasters occurring and that sort of thing, we will do our very best to incorporate the most current cost information that we have available when it's time.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything for Michael? No? Okay, item 6 to Jeremy and Michael.
I'll start out with this presentation of information. As you know, the agreement is between Great River Engineering and the city, and so Jeremy took quite a bit of time to explain, as we had sent out to you all for review, the memo of services that her group has provided to us are in excess of the contract. And then we also took a long time to talk about what is it going to take to finish this off and the changes that are there. So without going into doer detail, she just kind of came up with a total overall number of $215,000 worth of services that they've provided now. She also provided in the memo an update of where the $25,000 went. That's the business owners and us as the city and the engineers that are working on it, coming up with a plan that says this is plan beautiful and this is plan what you get if you don't want anything. And so that was super effective for some of our properties. I know that helped spin that and get that positive. So that was money well spent on that. Ms. Jackson has asked in our city contract, and as we talked about in the last meeting, for $45,700, and a lot of that goes around.
Sarah, you're unmuted. Could you please mute? Paul, can you mute her? I think you're
So on that, she broke down with her team the cost for land survey changes from these right-of-way changes that are here. These are all real changes when we go out and we meet with them, and it creates real work, i.e. the plans that are on the table here and the effect to that. She broke that down by individual area in $45,700. And so when you see bidding on there, you say, well, bidding, you haven't gotten to the bidding phase. Well, as they're updating bidding documents, they have to go back through and re-update, as she mentioned here, quantities. So when we have a landowner that is either written off or decides not to join it and you're losing something, they got to go back and edit that, go back and edit it, go back and edit it. So it's repetitive there. The city staff recommends that you approve or acknowledge that this amount of money. And then also we talked about, what's the potential cost that could still come out at us. And that will kind of be a new business discussion, but there's a cultural resource, which is part of the RER with MoDOT that's tying some of this TAP money together. That's still in limbo, and we have a great update for that, but we should have an answer shortly on that. But that is a potential of, you have to do those studies. It's not something somebody can do inside of here to unlock that money. So 25 to 30,000. This ask today is not the ask of this is it and we're going to be there. Further time delay, further changes could change that.
Just to add, one of the reasons we brought the plans is so that you could see the impact of changes. I mean, on tab, we got information on the 4 parcels yesterday, And we started identifying immediately changes that needed to be made. And the tabs that are there in the plans are the tabs for just one of the changes. I mean, you make one change, but it affects 30 sheets. And you have to check conflicts all over again. So you may look at it, may affect the water line at one part, but you may have to go, because a water line doesn't just move over 2 feet, you got to go back a block or two. So the changes, you know, when we do a design and we come up with a plan, we try to work with a lot of public meetings with people and property owners, try to work with them to get what they want. But every time there's a change, it's not just push a button, it's done. Where there's a lot in the plans that we've got to go through and check. And so we've been able to eat a lot of that, and Jeremy kicked me off if I'm blabbing too long, but we've been able to manage that with our project because there's always some adjustment, but you know, we've already ate over 10% of the project and we're there. And I don't, you know, we're business, we're in business to make money, not to lose money. And so we think we've been fair and we want to see the job done. I mean, we take pride in not just having plans that are nice and big to lay on the table. We want to see the project built because we think it's a good project. There's a lot of value to it. It'll be a good thing for the community. I gotta make sure my boss knows that we're still making money. So, and that.
If I can add to that, this was a very helpful visual for us because, and you know, if you haven't been in the construction business, or even if you have, probably none of us have ever worked on a project of this magnitude. So that's very helpful. And that's really all we were looking for. It's just some kind of, I mean, we have to be responsible, right, for the use of the money and to make sure that we're not, there isn't frivolities, right, that are being built. So this is very, very helpful.
I know a lot of times it's hard, you know, when you have a contract and you put a chunk of concrete in the ground, everybody can see it, but a lot of times all those changes are in my head that I got to do, and you guys don't necessarily know that, but we want to see this project build. We want to see it through, but I gotta make money.
Yeah. And then for Paul Campo and those that are online, that was Mike Beatty speaking from Great River Engineering. I know there are a lot of new faces that are here. He's one of the great engineers that are on this project. There are so many people that are on this project. And I kid with Jeremy the other day, we had a meeting and she brought somebody else to the table. I'm like, and who's this guy, right? She's like, well, he did this, this, and this. And I'm like, I'm so thankful for the part that guy had done and had done an outstanding job. So it truly takes the village and it takes a lot of money to make these changes. And so we hope for your full support in it and acknowledgement of it. And Jerry, if you have anything that you need to put in.
You know, I would just say, I did ask Mike to come down today and bring our product because, you know, we don't have time to go through each one of those sheets. And I know that, you know, you guys are always very kind to allow me to speak and do presentations, but I agree with you, Kathy. I think putting the plans out so that you can touch them and see is very important. I am very fortunate to work with Mike as a design partner on this project. And as Michael mentioned, we have, I think we have about 60 people that have touched the project in one capacity or another. Where we have a core group and Mike is one of those and he is as passionate as I am. We're ready to bid this thing and we're close. We're very close. I think you guys know that. We're ready to advertise it, bid it, get it built. We're ready.
I'll make a motion to approve that additional invoice.
I don't know if it needs a motion, does it? It's the city's.
Well, I believe Paul may have to help me through this, is it's not in your guys' budget per se for that, but you have discretionary budgeted monies.
Yeah, I think what we talked about last month, and as Mike alluded to at the beginning, the city holds the contract with Great River. But my understanding from the comments the mayor made at the last meeting is when this goes before the Board of Aldermen, the mayor and the board would want to know what the position of the CID is with respect to the proposed amendment. I'm not going to get hung up on semantics. If it's a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Aldermen, a motion to confirm, approve, the language is immaterial to me. It's really just evidencing your affirmation that you're comfortable with the proposed amendment.
So I'll make a motion that we recommend to the Board of Aldermen to approve this.
Second.
Hearing the motion, is all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that one carries.
Mike, I have a question. Has that been revised, the drawing?
Hey, well, we're still in the middle of changes. That's kind of the point. Those yellow tabs there are just for one of the 4 changes that the city sent yesterday. We've got to look at that.
So will be noted as a revised in every one of this or not?
No.
Because I know it's already been stamped.
Yeah, well, we stamped it for review so that that's the point. But when we bid it, there'll be another set that has the changes and we bid. And usually you do revision stamps when you're in the bidding process, so the bidders can track it. If I start putting revision stamps there now, the bidders are gonna be, well, I didn't see the first.
I've seen a lot of changes here. I was just thinking, how many pages are you need?
No, we'll hopefully there won't be any changes when we start the bidding process, but on a project this big, I guarantee you the contractor is gonna come up with something, what about this? And we'll need to clarify that and we'll do addendums and add. If we need to change a sheet, then we'll have a revision on that. So sometimes you add a sheet or just clarification, but that's that bidding process that, we got to get to the RER process and make sure we get all the right of way that we need. But yeah, there's the stamp that's there is for submittals because we submitted the MoDOT for review in the city. And we want everybody to know that, hey, we've incorporated everything to that point and there's still going to be more review. You guys are doing a review right now, but that's a complete set. I think in the past we had submitted the sidewalk plans and the signal plans and kind of piecemeal so you could see the parts, but that's everything together now.
How many pages is it?
It's 258 pages with the 2 sets. So there's another set down there that's got the median hawk plans for the medians.
But that's including all the ABP, the electrical.
All the electrics got the lighting, signals, landscape, stormwater, irrigation, traffic, grading, all of that. That, just a side note, the printing cost for just that set was almost $600. So it just usually we'll bid it, we'll probably put it out as an electronic form that the contractor.
That's why we like TVs.
So,
Yeah. They make it big enough to see.
It's
buy a printer.
Yeah, well, that's just the cost of the paper and the ink. And so it is a big project. It is a lot of stuff going on and something like this, there's going to be changes. It won't be done until you do the as-bills. There are going to be things that they go, fine, we need to make an adjustment. And that's just the nature of it.
Sorry to ask that question, I was just wondering.
On the RER, we've been having little snippets of conversations back and forth. I'm really gonna push back on this RER requirement the DOT is imposing on us. Because it's only because that 6 million from the state they put it into DOT, but now we fall under these DOT mandates and requirements. So I'll be pushing back with the Secretary's office, the Governor's office, Senator Hudson, see if we can.
And we have an update that happened yesterday. I haven't been able to get in front of you on that. And
yeah.
I can talk about that now or.
We can talk about it later.
So, yeah, it'll be an update to the group that's here today.
Oh,
so.
go ahead then.
And Anna has a bunch of stuff too, so. Yeah.
Can I just ask one process question before we get away from the easements? I know we're almost there now, and that's great, but these have caused a significant delay in the bidding of this project, and I was just wanting to know, next time around, is there, as a person who's been involved in the stakeholder communications pretty, quite a bit, is there a better way for us to be communicating different things to the stakeholders at a different time, perhaps getting easements before we've got these detailed plans? It baffles me when we said we're keeping this project in the right way, that temporary construction easements have delayed us the way they have. So I just like to know from folks who do these projects, perhaps a lot of other places, what did we do wrong this time that we need to fix next time?
So, I mean, I would like to speak to that if I may. What I will say is that when we do a large project and we have a significant stakeholder involvement, the way that we did in the very beginning, the reason that we started out with such a bang like that was to create a camaraderie and an understanding for the project, get everybody on the same page. Most usually, that kind of energy continues through a project so that you can just sit down with the design plans and get the easements sort of in that same vein. Perhaps understanding, just developing that relationship. There is a process that works for getting the easements acquired. And getting the easements acquired most usually means staying consistent with the message and with the drawings that are presented and the communication style. And I think there was a little bit of a disconnect, and at some point, there was a discussion about square footage. And anytime the discussion becomes about square footage, people equate that to a cost. And in the end, we were asking for voluntary easements to accommodate utility items. And somehow that, again, the square footage idea got equated to there should be a value for that. There should be a cost for that. There should be money that changes hands for that. And that was never the intention from this board or from the city. It was everybody should be on board and understand that there's value, great value to the property owners, to the stakeholders, from the improvements. For just the water lines alone and fire protection and lowering insurance costs, just as an example. It's about the communication. That's what it's about, period. It's about how you communicate with the property owners and who you're putting in front of the property owners to do that.
Yeah, many of the stakeholders that we had involved from the very beginning were some of the ones that are the last, and we're still waiting on signatures from. So, it's frustrating to me and baffling, and I'm just wondering how do we keep that from happening the next time? But we did also experience some pretty good delays when we were reevaluating the cost of the project and that sort of thing too. So a lot of time has passed since those early rah-rah sessions, and condensing that would be helpful as well, as what I'm hearing.
Well, I'll add, if we get one of the reasons that I think is important to continue and get this built is that when you go roll into the next phase and people in the next phase see the success and the improvement, that'll change that perception that we've been fighting with on this whole project. And so success begets success, which is another reason we're not interested in just putting lines on paper. We want to see stuff get built, because I think that says a lot about what we do. So.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No. Okay. Thank you, guys. Item 7. Discussion regarding transportation. Is that left on here? Is that the downtown trolleys? Is that what I'm assuming this is?
Yeah, there's nothing more to report or chat
Very
about.
good. Very good. Any introduction of any new business?
So the new business I'd like to introduce is the RER. We had the opportunity to work with Ann to create a concise document that I know she's working on or very close to sharing with you all that kind of gives the message of what we've gone through to get to the point we are today. Kathy spoke to for just a second that you know, the governor's money that was there. We had why it's not on the agenda is we had a super successful meeting yesterday. And when the money that was earmarked by the governor, 622, that was there, finally somebody from MoDOT went on record and said that it may be submitted as a RER, but required to be off system or on system. We are off system, and off system means that we're not on MoDOT system anymore, even though this road was. So I say we basically told them that we took the account as that we're off system, and then it says May. And I said, so who gets to make the decision on May when it's off system? And literally what was said in that meeting is you do. And I said, well, I have the answer. We're not doing RER. So that piece cleaned itself up really quickly. The TAP grants that are attached to that, which are multiple, and we also have another $800,000 nugget as I brought to you many months ago that's attached to it, do require some type of RER. With Jeremy's group and Cheryl and Ann and everybody have really, you know, you have to show that you're a public forum, that you're having the public involved, you're doing the discussions that are there. And, you know, I thought this was a pretty good example of, we keep passing all the tests, but then we go back and circle back to one or two, and that's there. MoDOT and all their officials that were there, and some people that we have met before, and Jeff City and so on and so forth, have asked for a 2-day pause to take a look at what level of RER we really need to be. If we need to be a RER 2 instead of a RER 1, we probably have all the requirements done. If they determine that we're RER 1, then we'll talk through that, and that's where that some of those studies may come back into effect. But the original response from them was, we need RERs for all of it. Basically, nicely, I guess we said, that's not gonna work, because that's a year from now. So that would have tied up that money that's there. So the big piece is unlocked, which is good. And we'll get these other pieces unlocked and give you an update on that as that goes along. And we think we have the right voices. And again, we appreciate everybody that's in the room and has worked inside and outside very hard and willing to shoot that up the ladder. So thank you again.
Excellent. Good news, Michael. Thank you, Nate.
Interesting. Any other new business to discuss? No? I guess I would then seek a motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.